What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV. In this video, I'm going to do a first impressions, a walkthrough of the Google Pixel 5. This is their newest phone. It's a kind of change of direction in sorts, because instead of being a quote-unquote flagship phone with almost all flagship specs, they're going towards a more mid-tier design, feel, and specs inside. So let's talk about the new Google Pixel 5. This video is sponsored by Into the AM. Get premium, soft, basic, and graphic t-shirts for a great price. This basic tee I'm wearing right here is soft, comfortable, and athletic cut to show off your bulging biceps. Or grab a graphic tee like this one and climb the stairway tree to heaven. Use the link in the description down below to save 10% off. Go to intotheam.com/GTV. All right, so here is the new Google Pixel 5 phone. Let's just go over some basic specs about it. It costs $699. Comes with Android 11. The screen is 6-inch OLED display. It's basically a 1080p plus display, so the resolution is 2340 by 1080. The processor inside is a Snapdragon 765G. So it will have 5G networking, which is the newest, latest, and greatest for your cell phone carrier, but 765G is a mid-tier processor. It's not going to be a speed demon, but it'll be able to do pretty much everything that you want. 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage. The rear cameras are going to be a 12.2 megapixel wide camera and a 16 megapixel ultra wide. The front camera is a the front camera is an 8 megapixel camera, and then the battery inside is 4,000 milliamps. So mid-tier phone. They're going from, these high-end phones to a mid-tier phone. Holding it in your hand, I love it in terms of like the form factor. It's light, it feels small, it feels easy to pretty much access anything that you want. I like the feeling of this back. This is the green one. It feels like plastic, I think, to me, in a way. It makes noise, obviously, when you jump on it. It doesn't feel cheap, though. I like it. The camera bump's not big like you see on a lot of other phones these days, and this doesn't even have a case on it. So the feel, again, I think it feels fantastic. The fingerprint sensor, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I can't say it enough. If they put physical fingerprints, the two best places I think are right here on the back or as the power button. And this one is cool because you can have these gestures to move down if you turn it on anyway, and I'll have a video on this tomorrow. But basically, when you swipe up and down, you can show your quick toggles, your notifications. Very cool. It's very comfortable. I love the fingerprint sensor. It's also very accurate. The design on the front, I think, fairly minimal bezels, especially for the price. $700 basically. Super small bezels, and I don't know. I like the look. I think it's a cool look. I don't mind that it's not glass. I can drop this on the back and it's not going to necessarily crack that. So I'm down with that. Some things that you can do on the back here actually is you can go into your battery settings in here, and you can turn on the reverse wireless charging. So if you go into battery and then you go into battery share and you turn this on, you can put anything. You just put it face down. You can put another phone on the back here. You can put your true wireless buds that can charge wirelessly on the back there. So some cool features now. And then obviously this also just wirelessly charges. Put this on a wireless charger itself to charge the phone, and it works fantastic. Love that. So cool little features like that. I don't mind that the camera's right here. Doesn't bug me at all. It's in a good spot. It's fairly big, but whatever. Doesn't look bad. I think the design on that for the screen looks absolutely good. Let's check out the speakers, because obviously this has stereo speakers. So let's play my old theme music. I mean, they're not the loudest speakers. They don't sound like crap. They sound decent. They sound good. They sound average, slightly above average. They got good bass, The volume's decent. So overall, I'm impressed with the stereo speakers. Now, one thing you don't get like you do on the Pixel 4a is you don't get a headphone jack, unfortunately, for some people. Not a big deal to me. I use Bluetooth anyway. This obviously has Bluetooth. And if you really wanted wired headphones, you could always use USB-C or get a USB-C to headphone jack adapter if you really need that. Camera's a big deal on here, and I'm gonna show you some samples of photos and videos that I took. But the big thing is when you launch the camera, you never had this on any other Pixel phone, you now have an ultra wide camera. So when you go to that back camera, you'll see down here 0.6. So I have that, and just to show you, it gets closer and closer. But basically, you have that nice ultra wide camera. So I'll show you that, and you can do that with on video or photo, which is awesome. And the other thing is, if you want, on the back camera, you can record up to 4K 60 or 4K 30, whatever you want. That's the highest resolution. But on the front camera for video, you can only do 1080p. So 1080, it doesn't even show you here, but 1080p is the only resolution you can do for the front camera. And then some of the features on the camera itself, you see you get panorama, you get photosphere, you get lens. You also get the ability to go to video and photo and portrait mode and night sight, which is going to be night mode. So yeah, cool stuff. This is the front camera recording in 1080. It's the highest resolution it can do on this phone. On the front camera, you can't do 4K on the front, unfortunately, but you can on the back, which is, hey, you take what you get at that point. But this is what it looks like. This is what it sounds like. Front camera, 4K 30 on the Pixel 5. Here's the main camera angle. Hopefully this is held out far enough so that you can see me and get an idea of how this looks and sounds when I hold this just directly in my hand. Main camera shooting 4K 30 on the Pixel 5. Here's a little wide angle action with the Pixel 5 right now. This lens is brand new to Pixel phones. Pixel phones have never had a wide angle lens, so this is a very, very welcome addition to this phone. I'm glad they added that. I wish it was in last year when I had the Pixel 4 XL. It wasn't there, but at the very least, you have it here. One thing to know is if you record with the wide angle lens, the highest resolution you can do is 4K 30. You cannot do 4K 60 with it. Here's what videos look like on this phone. You know, you can max it out and get a full screen effect to it. So, you know, they look fine. The OLED display is, I think the colors are good looking. All that stuff is good. The one thing I don't like about the display though, is that when you do use it, at least for me, I like to have my displays bright, and I have to put this up to about 80%, 90% in order to get decent brightness. I don't even know if you'd be able to tell right here, but that's at 50, and that's really, really dark. At least it is for me. So, and then if you lower it even further, it's almost, you can't even see it. I don't know, it's just, you really, for me anyway, you have to put it to about 80, 90% in order to get it. And it's been like that for a while in these Pixel phones. I really wish they would improve the brightness on these phones. It's one thing, again, maybe it'll be fine. You can get it, when it's at 80 or 90%, I can totally see it, I'm fine with it. But at that point, it's going to use more of your battery life. Overall performance, I mean, it's just running around this operating system. It keeps up. I mean, it definitely doesn't feel like the fastest phone I've ever had in my life, but I don't know, it's snappy. It's definitely, I will say it's definitely snappier than the LG Velvet, which also has the same processor as this. This definitely, the Pixel 5 definitely feels more snappy, and that's probably because it has vanilla Android. But at that point, I want my phone to feel snappy, and this definitely, for the most part, for being a mid-tier phone with a mid-tier processor, it definitely feels pretty good. I'd be fine with this, as you know, and I don't think people are going to complain about this being sloppy or laggy or anything like that. It definitely feels pretty good. Speaking of speed and things like that, the display itself does have a 90 hertz display. It's adaptive, so it's not going to always be 90 hertz, and it's not going to be because of that, because of the Battery life, what you can see right there, automatically raises the refresh rate from 60 to 90 for some content, increases battery usage. So turn that on and you're going to get, you know, smooth animations and smooth scrolling and things like that, and the phone's going to feel faster, and you can definitely feel it on this phone. And again, this is a mid-tier phone. The new iPhones at the time of making this video, because they haven't been announced yet, they will, you know, the next day, again, at the time of making this video. So those supposedly don't have 90 or 120 hertz displays, they're only 60. This is a, you know, $700 phone. This has it, and this phone has an OLED display, so very nice stuff that's built into this. Software experience, it's a Pixel phone, so there's not a huge amount of customization in here, just on a surface level. Obviously, you can change your wallpapers. You can go in here and change some of the styles as well for different things, such as when you go into style, you can go in here and change some of the colors for like your quick toggles and things like that. You can change the grid amount of apps that shows on your home screen. You can go into your settings and go into really any of these categories. There's things to change, but most of the stuff that's kind of like, you know, customizations is under system, and then you go to gestures and you have a bunch of stuff in here to change or take advantage of. So there is some customizations on a surface level, but overall it's very clean looking software. You're always going to get the latest updates, at least for the next 3 years. It's inexpensive for a mid-tier phone at $700. Speakers are decent. Cameras are good, you know, especially for photos. I think you get some really beautiful looking photos. It's just a solid, easy to use Android phone. If you want to pick it up, it's linked down below. But if you guys have this phone, or are you thinking about getting it, let me know what you think so far just looking at this video. And I'll see you guys down the road. Peace.